All right, Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson, but the spirit jumped on me to go into, our people, what I'm saying? It's like they're in the Matrix. Like the Matrix was a movie that was projecting what's going on in this reality that we stay in right now. So you go out and this, your daily business, you see how these people moving strictly by in the flesh. You seeing people going to go do this and going to go do that with no kind of spiritual insight how they moving, what they doing. They just going strictly off the flesh, and our people are very, spiritually dead. And it's very obvious that it's only for the elect to get up out of here, right? So I'm gonna get into this scene of the movie The Matrix, and it's heavy because he's gonna be going into the mentality of the people, right? That's inside the Matrix, and this would be the same equivalency to the people that's in the world. They think the same way, right? Check this out.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. Have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it.
That's heavy. They will fight to protect it. And that's the state of our people, right? They are so inwoven in this American culture, right? That's all they know. This is their home. This is their abode, right? This is their rest. They don't know no other way. They think this is all that it is because they don't know better and they're ignorant, right? And they'll defend this system. You have Jakes that went into the military, right, to think they was fighting for the freedom of the world, but not knowing these are banker wars. So you've been misguided and misled, lied to, right? Spiritually abused, right? Psychological warfare ever since you came out of the womb. The TV programming, your parents' programming, right? All these different mind control and mind alteration things that they have done to you, right? And you feel like you're trapped. Most of our people are going to stay in the world. They're not going to come out. They love it too much. They love oppression. They just want to. They just want to fit in somewhere, right? So this is the reason why they're gonna defend. They defend and they're gonna defend this system, and they're gonna take that MOTB, right? Because they don't trust in the Lord. They'll say they do, but they don't really believe what they're saying. It's all just lip service, right? So let's get into this lesson. But the so-called white man has fucked your mind up ever since you came out of the womb, right? And that's something that you have to undo. Excuse my language, my roughness, but I'm just telling you in a way so you can get it, right? So they have altered your mind. They have spoon-fed you lies. They gave you a bunch of things that is not the truth, but you think it is the truth, right? It's like you in a twilight zone, right? So that's why we woke up. Some days I feel like I'm in a damn Twilight Zone episode because everything that's supposed to be right is wrong, right? So these people don't follow the Lord. They don't reverence the God out of the Bible. They reverence their own self. They reverence the God out of Christianity, right? They hold dear to these traditions, these celebrations, right? They've been fully indoctrinated as like you would indoctrinate a child, right? So I'm letting this load up. But these Edomites gave you their culture, they gave you their language, they gave you their customs, they gave you a whole way of life. They gave you feminism for the women. They gave you rappers for the jakes and the women, thug culture. They gave you gangster movies, right? They gave you thoughts, right? Twerk queens, hood rats, gangsters, right? This the culture that our people have adopted, this so-called black culture, right? Which is death. They gave you the so-called Christian church. Now you got this abomination called the black Christian church, where there ain't nothing but a hustle. You got the so-called Latin Christian church. You got the so-called Native American Christian church. Check this out. Westernization. What is it? It says Westernization, right, is the process whereby societies come under or adopt what is considered to be Western culture. Western culture is Edomite culture. It says in areas such as in industry, technology, science, education, politics, economics, lifestyle, traditions, and they gave you the religion of Christianity. So you see all these different genres of our people into everything. They talk like them, they act like them, right? They copy their mannerisms, right? They get into the politics as a so-called white man. They get into the education system as a so-called white man, right? The economics, the lifestyle, right? They're living. They can't even be their own selves. So a lot of our people know there's something that's wrong, and they feel like they trapped, right? I want to go deeper, but I'm not going to have enough space. So that's why you come into the truth. You're supposed to be reborn, right? You have to put off the old mindset, the old habits, the old customs, right? Your big mama celebrations, the crawfish balls, right? Eating catfish, right? Eating that swine. You got to put all that off, right? And come renewed, right? John 3:3. Yahweh shall answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, right? This is not saying that you died and you come back to life. This is a spiritual rebirth. He cannot see the kingdom of Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. So you're not going to get into the kingdom. This was really talking about salvation, right? So you have to be born again, right? Reborn, right? So let's go into this word reborn, right? So it's a figurative way to look at it, and it's a literal way, right, to look at reborn. All right, I found a pretty good one. Uh, Salakia, right here. It says reborn. It says having experienced a complete spiritual change. You hear this? So you have to change the way you think. It's a mental game. This is the ultimate mental game because your mind controls your actions. It controls what you do and what you don't do. So if you've been indoctrinated to be a feminist as a woman, to be rebellious and combative, you have to work on that. You have to undo all that. You have to be reborn, right? You got to look at the Messiah as a so-called black man in your mind. It's a lot of stuff that you have to redo over. So everything that you've been taught is a lie. So you have to start from scratch. You can't drag some of that old baggage with you, right? Just say you're moving, you starting a new life somewhere, right? You don't want to take none of the old baggage with you. You want to start fresh. So it's the same concept, right? Typically, people want to buy, say they move or relocate, they want to buy new things, right? It's just what it is, right? So you have to be reborn. You can't be the same stubborn person that she once was in the world and bring that attitude, bring that baggage into the truth, right? So you've been indoctrinated in the matrix. So to free yourself out of the matrix, right, which would be the world, you have to come into this truth and you have to submit totally to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. You can't do this half-ass. Psalms 51:10. It says, create in me a clean heart. Right, I'm going to go into this word heart so you can get some edification. It says, oh, power. It says, and renew a right spirit within me. Right, so let's go to this word heart. So you want to put off the filth that you learn in the world, the way of thinking, the culture, the bad habits, the way you eat. That's a big thing too with our people. They eat, the way they eat causes them many different diseases, right? Cause them death, diabetes, high blood pressure, right? You go down the list, right? And it leads to them not thinking straight, being clog minded, right? Being foggy minded. And you can't really develop and grow like that. Stop eating all this junk food, man. It says heart. It says in the Bible, the heart is considered the seat of life or strength. Hence, it means mind, right? You have to renew your mind, right? This is the ultimate mental game. So you can't think the same way. You got to think, you got to filter your mind through the Bible, through the scriptures, through the precepts, through the history of our culture, because the Bible is a cultural book about the Hebrew Israelites, and that's where we descend from. They've took the Bible and universalized it to make it apply to anybody. That's like if I go to the bookstore and I pick a book up on the Vikings or whatever, I can't make that book apply to me unless I'm a Viking. So the Bible is only meant for the Hebrew Israelites, which we descend from. So that's the only people it's meant for. It's not meant for nobody else, no other people. That's a personalized book, right? But you people get it when it's, like a Viking book about the Vikings. You understand it in that scenario. Let's go here. I went there. So let's go here. The red pill and blue pill, because there was a scene in this movie, right, when he was presented with an option, a decision. It says red pill and blue pill symbols originating from the 1999 science fiction film The Matrix. The pills represent a choice between remaining in a state of blissful ignorance. So that's most of our people, right? It says, or accepting a painful reality. That's the red pill, right? So let's go here. Let's go to this word blissful ignorance. So this is of most of our people. They don't want to deal with anything that so-called messes up their day, anything so-called negative, right? It says blissful ignorance right here. It said a state of not knowing, so they don't want to know what's really going on. They want to stay in oblivion. They want to stay going to clubbing on the weekend. They want to stay in their own little world, right? It says, and not wanting to know about unhappy things or possible problems. And this is the state of most of our people. That's why they move through this earth in folly, right? They're chasing the things in this world. They're not worried about the spiritual life, right? They spiritual life. And when they say they so-called believe in God, it's all inconsistent. It just really lip service, right? It's really traditional things that they was taught to do. It's not based in any truth, right? But they actually trust in this system. There's going to be a lot of people defending this system, and when they defend this system, they do it in many different ways, right? Ecclesiastes 12:10, it says, "Never trust thy enemy." And why do we have to like break this down so thorough to make you understand that the so-called white man is your enemy? You should already have this should already be an understanding. Like a lion and a hyena, they know what it is. They don't never, right? They're gonna never be in peace with each other. They know they're enemies. Why you can't get it? Because of Christianity taught you to love everybody, right? And when it was talking about love, your neighbor, it was talking about your fellow Israelite. But a lot of you Jakes are so you're so destroyed in the mind that you can't comprehend what I'm saying, right? That's how brainwashed you is. It says, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And the so-called white man has indoctrinated, lied to you. He done did a number on you people, man. And you still believe this devil, right? Run out of town. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rachat Kodash. Shalom.